When you think about mobile homes, you think about trailer parks, you think about like just a certain demographic.
So the biggest thing is just affordability.
Okay.
Right. So you got to think about it. I tell people, where else in America can you buy a move-in ready house for less than $25,000, right? So now you think about it, they're buying this house for $10,000, and now their HOA is $575, right, a month. So that's the affordability for them, right?
Welcome to another episode of More Than a Side Hustle podcast. The reason I'm laughing is because we were literally just recording and realized that it wasn't capturing any audio. And this is the part of the podcast that you guys don't normally see. We like to show you guys like the end. You see the end product, the end result, but you don't see the work that kind of goes into it. And we appreciate you guys being here. Before we get started, please drop us a 5-star review. We want to make sure that these episodes continue to impact more people, impact more lives. And our goal is to help 9-to-5ers create more impact, influence, and income outside their jobs. And I'm Anthony.
I am Janoka, the other half of the Heartrimony, and thank you guys for being here once again.
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about mobile home investing. We're going to be talking about the entire game, how you guys can use this type of vehicle to get into outside your 9-to-5s. And we are talking to one half of Mobile Home Elite Investors. And you think about the word mobile home, you think about the words investor, you think about this great couple. We got one half of that couple here, but you can't say mobile home investing without them. Mm-hmm. And we appreciate you being here, my brother.
Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much.
No problem. Yes. And before we get into all the ins and outs of mobile home investing, we want to learn about how'd you get into the industry and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so again, my name is Byron S. I'm one half of the Mobile Home Investors. My queen, Sharnice Sellers, is the other half. And I kind of got into it by fate, y'all. Listen, I wanted to get in real estate since 2015. Got really close to purchasing a multifamily in Chicago. And March 2nd, when the basement had flooded, so I'm like, they didn't want to negotiate, had to walk away. March 3rd, 2017, I went to work, I was fired. So that was the day I'm just like, you know what?
When it rains, it pours.
Right, facts. Like, I'm tired of this. I've been fired like 4 times. I'm like, no, I can't keep doing this. I'm going to take my own fate. So honestly, y'all, like, you know, I all I knew was I had to get a mortgage. So now I'm kind of hustling. I'm trying different MLMs. I'm trying different things. But I spent $12,000 on personal development because I know how to get my mind right before I got my money right. And
Wait, I have to stop you because most people, when they're in that situation, they're not spending $12,000 to get their mind right. Because usually we don't measure our mind, if you will. Speaking as a therapist, I'm like, people don't focus on that. So what made you say that that's important to do before you went ahead and bought anything or did anything else?
So you got fired and then spent $12,000.
Yeah.
I wanted to make that clear.
Take that, but go ahead.
So that's a wonderful question because the thing was I had already started reading like self-help books and I was listening to podcasts. And I remember a guy named Willie Cauley. He said he got a life coach was really helped him change his life around. I was like, I need one of those, right? So I went into a program. And at that time, they was training how to become a life coach. I was like, well, let me invest $10,000 over here, all credit cards at the time. Like, let me invest that, right? And then I started going to other like personal development seminars, and everything was in common because I was fearful. I knew I had to get out of this mindset of taking risk, and everything was totally different from the people that I was around. They was talking a whole nother language, you know, about being present and just as far as, you know, believing in yourself and you are your own destiny. I'm just like, this is different. Everybody else is, you know, we talking how broke we is and all this kind of stuff. So, you know, fast forward, I'm in there. And at the time, I'm going broke now because I didn't spent that money. Yeah. So now I'm driving Lyft.
Basement flooded. Yeah. You lost your job and you dropped $12,000.
Yes, right. So now I'm just like but at the same time, it's giving me the confidence, it's giving me the momentum, and the time. When I got fired, the funny thing about it, like Sharnice and I, we were still dating, but I was like, I got to figure it out. So I told her at that time, like, listen, like, you know, listen, you're a good woman. I don't think I can do what I can. I gotta figure this out myself. Like,
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
The women committee. I appreciate you being honest.
Like, listen, like, you know, I don't want to waste your time, but you know, if you still around when I kind of get my stuff together, I got you. And you know, fast forward, I'm driving Lyft. And I mean, like, I'm kind of just in this space, and I'm like, you know what? I started a marketing company for Snapchat. I was doing like Snapchat filters. I'm like, I'm going all in on this. But I'm gonna tell y'all something funny. Guess what I was targeting?
Who?
Rappers.
Okay.
No, wait, not just big rappers. I'm talking about Facebook rappers. So
No shade, all shade. By the way,
Wait. Snapchat was a big thing. We were paying people to do filters.
Yeah.
For our wedding.
Our wedding hashtag was the Heartrimony, and that was our filter for Snapchat. So this month we paid like $150, $200 for this.
Yes.
So
exactly. So now guess what? I'm in Facebook groups where I'm like, y'all need this. I can drop this at concerts. Here's the thing. Nobody had no money. I maybe only had 5 clients in like a 3-month span, right? So now I'm going all in this. My car gets repoed, everything like this. And I remember, I talked to me and Sharnice, and we still talking and things. And I remember telling, she was the only person I kept it real with. I was just like, I told everybody my car got stolen because I was embarrassed. And she was just like, you know what? What if I give you the money? I was like, no, you like, my pride is like, she's like, no, seriously, like, I'm gonna give you the money. Don't worry about it. I know you'll pay me back. You're good for it. And nobody, like, even my mother and father weren't even about to give me the money. I was just like, man, skip that car. We just gonna keep on going. She went and gave me the money, and I was just like, yo, like, this is different. And at the time, I had a roommate. She was living by herself. She's like, you can come over and work and things like that. She gave me a peace of mind. I was just like, man,
she saw something in you, boy. Because
saw something in me, and I was just like, yo, like. But she said I would talk so different. She was like, most guys, they talking about here and there, but she's like, you was talking about this entrepreneurship. You talking about like wealth and how you're gonna be wealthy. And she was like, I was so curious. And when she gave me that money, I was like, I promise I'm gonna pay you back. And one day I was driving Lyft and I heard a podcast about mobile home investing, and this lady was saying how she spent $5,000 on mobile homes and flipped them for like 10. I'm like, wait, what? So I sent it to Sharnice. I'm like, yo, listen to this. I came home to her that day. I went to her house, and she was just like, hey, I know you want to do multifamily, but we need to do mobile home investing. And I was like, really? She was like, she had never thought about entrepreneurship. Never thought about it. And I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. If you confident, I'm confident.
Exactly. And that decision right there, we were all, we dating and things like, but that decision right there was just like, once we started going out, it just like, it brought us like even stronger together, right? Now we taking road trips, we're going to mobile home communities, we both learning, we binge watching things. And now we just seeing like, okay, we doing something together. And it just really, it started to just kind of just glue us like in a different, because we did everything unorthodox. We did this before we were together. Before we were officially said we were boyfriend and girlfriend. Yeah. We started doing business together. We created an LLC. We discovered this November of 2017. We did our first deal January of 2018. I'm sorry, 2017, then January of 2018. Then we were official February 22nd.
That's definitely unorthodox. And I'm going to tell you, if she was my friend, I probably would tell her not to do it. To be honest. I probably would have said not to do it, but she took a leap of faith and it was right. Sometimes you got to listen to yourself.
Yeah. So how did you even know that this was going to be the thing? You said you listened to a podcast and it kind of sparked your interest, but you said you were already doing self-development. So there's probably tons of podcasts that you were listening to that said, get into something with no money down or low money down. It could have been wholesale. It could have been tons of different things that gave the same message, but why mobile home investing?
Yeah, so we started looking on Facebook Marketplace and stuff, and we would saw mobile homes, 2,000, 4,000, 7,000. We like, hold on, like this, we can afford this, right? Like I don't necessarily have the money, but I'm pretty sure I can get a personal loan. And so the first deal, Sharnice found a guy, he had 2 mobile homes. He wanted 7,000 for it. We're like, okay, we could do this. So we went and took out a high interest loan from Lending Club. $10,000 with
I'll be trying to give them money to lend out to other people. I'm like, those interest rates are crazy.
24%, y'all.
Yeah.
24%. And we just took the leap of faith, and we ended up getting them down to 4,300. And we was for two. Okay. And we're just like, oh, because now we're excited, right? Because now I'm looking at all this fix and flip. Yeah, it's happening. We in it. And one of them was move-in ready. We had to do nothing to it. The other one we put $3,000 into, and luckily her father had experience. He had a friend that did handiwork, so he helped me save money. We only put $3,000 into that one. Within 45 days, we sold one for $10,000. We sold the other one for $9,500.
So $19,000, you spent 43, and you got back 19. Yes. And I wanted to stop you because you keep saying mobile homes. Are those trailers? Is that like what we would call it, or is it a sophisticated way of calling it a trailer?
Yes.
Or?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm glad you said that because mobile homes is really a nickname, right? They're really manufactured homes. After 1976, they start calling manufactured homes because mobile homes, a lot of times when we say mobile homes, people think of the RVs, the ones you can drive, right? So like you said, trailers, and then manufactured homes came into place because that's when HUD got involved, and they were just like, all right, we can't. People, they were making bogus copies of them, right? So they just like, all right, we're gonna start making sure they get inspected and good. So it's just mobile homes is more so the slang term that most people say.
Because I know trailers have like usually a negative connotation to it. So mobile homes make it a bit more sexier.
Yes.
Okay. Now, speaking of that negative connotation, so when we think about, when you think about mobile homes, you think about trailer parks, you think about like just a certain demographic. Was an episode
on Family Matters when they had went into a trailer home park, right? I'm trying to think. But it's usually negative.
It was Fresh Prince.
Oh, when he was running from
he was running from the killer, they went to the mobile home park. There's a type of demographic here that we just, because this is the only thing we know is what we see on TV. Right. You've been in, I'm sure, dozens and dozens of places. Mm-hmm. Can you explain to us? Is it what we see on TV?
Yes. So what I love about it, so it's different grades, right? So you have A class to pretty much F class, right? Okay. And your D and F are what the stigmas around, right? Okay. That's when you seeing Confederate. I've been on Confederate flags, chickens walking around, like just you like, yo, this I need to get up out of here. I don't belong in here, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have your A, B, and C, which are more like your A's are immaculate. Like these are sometimes your 55 plus communities where I'm talking about they have swimming pools, parks, tennis courts, triple wides. Like I'm talking about just the quality of manufactured home is amazing, right? Mm-hmm. And then again, at the lower you go, but we typically stay within like B and C. Okay. But there's still opportunity in D and F. But again, those are the ones that are a little bit more wild. Definitely the stigmas that y'all kind of see around it.
So in mobile home investing, is it the same things that we would face with as being landlords or just like residential properties? What type of things do you face being a mobile home investor?
Yeah, so the lovely thing about it is levels to it, right? So if you're investing inside of a mobile home park, then that is a little bit more protection for you. Meaning, because since it's a community already owned by either like a corporation, we call it mom and pop, you're just leasing the land, right? So that's why they have like a HOA called lot rent, right? So they pay that monthly lot rent, and then the value of the house is what you can determine, and it's normally personal property inside of a community. Okay. Then what I love about it though, when you buy a mobile home on your own land, like let's say it's in a neighborhood that has single family houses, now you can actually comp that with single family. So that will be the same. Everything is the same as real estate. Once it's affixed to land, then that's when it's taxed and everything, just like a single family home.
So someone living in there, they pay rent and HOA, so they have to pay the rent and they have to pay the land fee. So there's double.
Yes. Well, so if the mobile home community owns the asset, then they whip it in one. So they may say
$1,500.
Yeah, and it'll be just one. Whereas an investor comes in, they're going to have to split it. So as an investor, what we tell people, like, listen, what you'll do, whatever the average rent is, then what you'll do is you'll make sure it makes sense. So if the average rent is $1,200, as long as the lot fee or the HOA is less than like $500, then you have enough that you can rent out with around that average price and still take home some cash flow.
No, you start getting into the numbers, people start losing you. So I don't even want to go too deep into the numbers because they listen to the podcast, they may watch on YouTube, and they start trying to calculate this. So before we even get into the numbers of it, so you guys pretty much more than doubled your money with your first investment. Yeah. You see this shining light. You're like, all right, we're gonna go all into this. Like, what was the next step after how do you even flip a mobile home? You buy it and you like sell it to somebody on Facebook?
Yeah.
Like, how does this work?
Where you selling that?
So that's the beautiful thing about it.
Who's buying it?
I love it. So the funny thing, most people, like, that was the question even for us, like, who's buying it, right? Because again, we from Chicago, we like, ain't no mobile homes around here, right?
I was gonna ask you, is that where you found your first one in Chicago?
No, so it's only funny thing in Chicago is one mobile home community. It's closer to Indiana. Everything else is outside. Like for example, Texas has over 5,000 mobile home communities, right? Illinois has over 1,100. So we had to go out like an hour and a half for it. But once we acquired it, definitely Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, offer. Like you're listing your home inside of, especially anything in less than like 50,000. You're listing them like in unorthodox places. You're not putting
Zillow.
Not Zillow, not Realtor.com, right?
Redfin. Okay,
like you're putting on people on a marketplace because that's where people are looking for affordability, right? And you'll be surprised when we first put our first two homes, we had over 200 leads. Like literally just coming in, hey, is this available? Is this available? Can I come see it? Like each home, I showed the home at least 12 times.
And is that because of the work you guys put into it? It looked like top of the line?
Well, the demand. So the biggest thing is just affordability. Okay. Right. So you got to think about it. I tell people, where else in America can you buy a move-in ready house for less than $25,000, right? So now you think about it, they're buying this house for $10,000 and now their HOA is $575, right, a month. So that's the affordability for them, right? That covers their, their trash, their electric, all that stuff. And so a lot of times, like especially in rural areas, more people are looking for that affordability piece, and a mobile home is something that's just like, hey, it's a roof over my head. Like I grew up in this, or this is fine. It's gonna help me save money. Yeah. And so the families that we helped, it was the affordability part about it, right? It was just like, okay, cool, I own it outright, $10,000, and okay, I only gotta pay $575 a month. This is perfect.
That's amazing. Actually, it's not perfect, but so you went from in a year, or a little less than a year, losing your job to then making $19,000 within 45 days. Yeah. What was that feeling? Because I feel like I'd be like, all right, you can't touch me now. I'm Kanye now. You can't touch me. So what was that feeling?
Listen, I mean, the funny thing, Sharnice was super excited. Like, there was the most money. Both of us, I'd never had that much money just at one time, like lump sum. And for me, the feeling was helping both those families that we gave the keys to. Both of them cried. The experience of that was like, yo, like I couldn't, like the check, she was like, you not happy? I was like, I'm happy, but like, you see what we just did? Like we literally just helped their situation. One, they were moving, they was living in their grandma's basement. Like it was a couple. Then the other guy, he was living in his mother's basement. He was an older guy, but he was just like, he was just like shed tears. And I'm just like, I think this is what's gonna keep driving me to do this, and it literally did. Like every family that we helped from there on, it was like an experience, from hugs to then we started getting different like baskets. We just basically started to get better with it, but it was just those experiences, and I felt like once I started putting a purpose behind it, it was just like, man, it just opened the floodgates.
And Sharnice, I know we didn't even speak about this. Was she still working at that time, or was
no? So she had got fired in December.
Y'all just not good employees at this point. I don't think it's a job. It might be y'all at this point. But I'm happy it happened this way.
She said they called on the wrong day. The manager tried her or something like that. She got to talking crazy, and she said she just let them have it. And, that was one of them. She's just like, you know what, I'm gonna thug it out. And we both at the time, like she was doing Amazon Flex. We was just like, we gonna do these apps. Like we ain't going back to nobody's office. We just gonna we gonna pretty much grind it out. But once we found that, it just like, yo, like this, we can pay our bills. We can kind of
have some money,
get back on our feet. And then it just literally went from getting $19,000 a month to $30,000 a month. It was just like, oh, like this
things started to grow.
Yeah, this different.
Yeah, that sounds.
When you talk about this, you talking about like getting to that scaling point. So before even guys got there, you flip that home, you sell it, and you're like, all right, we're gonna go all in on this. Did you guys ever think about going back to a job at all?
Nah.
During that time?
No, it was like it was not an option, because I think it was just like we found something that, for one, that was wide open. And I'm gonna tell you very quick story. What made us really get into it, so when we first started, we started calling so many parks. Every day we call 50 mobile home parks to see what they have for sale. Right, that was
in
our
different
first
states. Like, where were you looking?
Mostly Illinois, Indiana. Right, those are two.
Because you wanted to be able to drive to it,
drive to it, and see what they have for sale. Right, we didn't really know, it wasn't that much information out there how to do this. We kind of just learned.
So I was going to ask that. So did you learn from anyone, or just trial and error?
School of hard knocks, like literally, and talking to owners and park managers. But we call so many parks. The fifth largest mobile home park owners. The vice president called and was like, he saw Sharnice, and he's like, yeah, I see you keep calling my parks, this Sharnice. He's like,
I own these.
Yeah, like what's going on? And she told him what he's trying to do. He's like, oh, okay, well, listen, if you ever in Denver, stop by, we'd love to meet you. We booked a flight to Denver the next week. We was like, yo, like, this is a big company.
So before you continue, I need to know where you guys get this drive from, because do you have any parents, any grandparents, anybody that taught you, or is just kind of like, we gonna have to make it, it's gonna have to work or have to work?
So it was. I'll honestly say, like, for myself, that the day I got fired, I was told I'm an entrepreneur. Like, that was the thing. Like, I'm going to do it. So I had already failed at like 3-4 things already. Okay. So it was like, I don't care. Like, I'm not dead. You know what I'm saying? I got nothing to lose. I'm throwing it all in.
Those are the scariest people that have nothing to lose, by the way. But in a good way for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she trusted me, right? She trusted me to kind of like, okay, well, and then she was learning from but yeah, when we went to Denver though, we met up with him. He said, listen. He said, I've never met anybody who looks like you all in this industry. Black. And if you like making, if you like making quadruple the money, stay in this industry. And we looked at each other like, okay, say less. Say less. And he gave us a green light to all his communities as well.
Really? So he gave you the green light to start to invest. Mm-hmm. Okay. So do you like partner with him, or he sells it to you? Or how does that work?
So yeah, whenever those communities had a mobile home for sale, he would talk to their park managers, and like if we came, all we had to do was say his name, we'll be all good. Half the time they would give us homes for like dirt cheap just because like
his name.
Yep.
So while you guys are doing right now on social media, it kills me because everybody is talking about these $200 days. They talking about women are like, yo, my man needs to have this. So you guys were on zero at this. You guys were at zero, and you guys came from that 0 point. You guys worked together. How is it working together with your spouse? Because we have this conversation amongst ourselves, but I'd be curious, how is it working amongst your spouse? Is it like one is more driven? Or how you guys manage that, the personalities?
Yeah, so that took work, right? The first thing we had to do was figure out our roles. Like that was the biggest thing because we was trying to do everything at first together. So figuring out roles is what really helped us because I'm like myself, she always said, you always so just like, can you just talk about, like, can you slow down before I start talking about business? I'll be in bed. She like, babe, I don't care about business right now. So
she's me and I am her. Yeah. That is exactly what I say. And I cut it, not now. We at the table, not now. We driving, not now. He like, oh, we're gonna be quiet? Yes. There's no talking about it.
Listen, y'all have been high-fiving and she was right here, boy. I promise. And again, I had to learn those skills to be able just to kind of cut it off at times, right? And at the same time, like, she helped me to realize, like, listen, I know I'm your business partner, but I'm still like, now I'm your wife. At the time, I'm your girlfriend. Like, you have to date me. Like, yeah, we doing all this dope, and I understand that you're driven, but those are the things I had to learn because I was just everything was just focused. I was just excited. I'm just this is all I talk about. My whole everything. I didn't care about sports and nothing like that. It was just about business. You know what I'm saying, and progression. And but at the same time, I would say this, like, I watched her evolve into a boss. And we knew how to separate those. She made sure mandatory every Friday date night. And the biggest thing is once we learned our roles, then it became we were able to step back and then not have to, it's just like, okay, cool. Like, hey, listen, I'll be in charge of the marketing of this piece. You be the boots on the ground. Fine. And then when we needed to collaborate, we needed to, but for the most part, we handled it together, very well.
And then once you got over that part, I guess, is there anything that still becomes difficult with running the business together?
Yeah, she's ready to retire.
What does retirement mean to her? Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no,
it's different for everyone.
Yeah, honestly, for her is I would say definitely. She like the investing and things like that is more like she's like, listen, Byron, I'm ready to come out with my own brand. Like, we've done everything together, and I was again I was like, listen, I respect and I'm always gonna support her. Like, yo, listen, like this is 100%, right? Like I get it, and because she's like, a lot of times like you drove this ship, and for now, like some of the things I would definitely like to pursue, and so I get, and she said sometimes she's like, I love being your wife more than your business partner,
right?
And so I get it, and so it's just like I'm looking forward to some of the next chapters,
of her kind of doing her own thing,
yeah.
That's exciting.
No, and we go through that same thing where it's like we do everything together, and it's like, all right. If she wants to do, if Janoka wants to do something, it's like, all right, babe, go do your own thing. Yeah. But then you're still going to be there for it. It's not like you're going to be doing it by yourself,
right? Exactly.
Completely. So we can still do this together. So as you guys you get to that point where you start getting the deals from the mobile home investor. How many parks does this guy? Oh, go ahead.
No, what I was going to say is after the first one that you flipped for 4,300, how long did it take you to get your next one?
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, let me see. The first one. We end up getting one, I would say, like 16 days because we went to that same park. So that first park that we did business in, we did over 45 deals in that one community. That community had over 636 units.
Wow.
So we became the go-to, investor in that community because we would get things done. We'd go, anything we had to flip, we'd go ahead and flip it in and out. And then we had built a big buyers list. So we had people lined up ready to buy homes.
And then were you still using, because you mentioned her father's friend, were you still using that person as the contractor?
Yeah, I would use George. Shout out George. The only thing about George lives.
Listen, he might. You never
George.
See a clip.
Look, George, you know what you was doing, George. Anyway, George would.
God. I don't want to talk about George, man.
That's my man right there. The only way I would have to pick George up and take him back and forth. So that was days for me. It wasn't like I would have to. So that's
you might as well have did it yourself.
Exactly. I learned a lot, but then it helped me because anybody else I hired, I knew like you can't BS me because I done seen all these projects through, so I know the ins and outs and everything. So George really helped me, but then I'll start hiring different people in the community. George always did the best work. You know what I'm saying? More so a friend of the family, not a lot of people, but yeah, it was just from then I kind of had a standard where I didn't buy nothing if it wasn't just cosmetic, like if it wasn't just like some paint or replacing some cabinetry, toilet or something, I wasn't buying it.
Okay. And currently now, this is maybe a random question. Do you guys own anything else investing wise outside of mobile homes? Do you do single family or multifamilies or no?
Nah, just all manufactured homes. Like the current thing for us is just investing in mobile home parks.
Okay.
Yeah, I was definitely going to go. So you had mentioned going all in on mobile parks. You saw the value. You saw that there was an open market. What after you decided that we're going all in, what does that look like for you guys as a couple?
Mm-hmm.
So really just scaling, like hitting those goals. Of course, after you hit the first 6 figures, it's amazing, right? You just like, man, that was a milestone. Like, can we go bigger, right? And see how we can go bigger. And I think the next phase was really, it was the fact that everybody that we told what we do, they were like, trailers? Yeah,
I mean, we had the same reaction when you just told us.
I just asked you at the beginning. I thought
like trailers. Everybody felt like how, and so we would find ourselves telling people how, and then it was just like, okay, y'all didn't go back to the workforce. Y'all look like y'all doing pretty well. Like, tell me more. And so we would definitely end up, just explaining what we was doing, and then we started documenting our journey. Like when we first came on, like we were just basically showing people, like, hey, this is what we doing. Like this is cool. If y'all interested, we hear some information about it. And the next thing was just like how, like let's teach people how to do this because nobody looks like us as doing that, right? So the next pivot was, okay, let's not only document our journey, like let's show, but now let's see how we can show people how to do this too. Like I think we can help people, who in the same situation with us, didn't have the best credit, didn't have the most capital, like to get started doing this as well. And so it became fun because now it's like as we was documenting our process, it was like, to me, it was like, you can't fail. We can't mess up a deal because we're showing the start to finish of this project. So we got to make sure we're doing it. So it was fun. I think the biggest thing was like, again, like watching Sharnice, just like she would, like the funny thing, I would be out there every day. She would come to a project maybe like 2 times and then know everything that I know. But she would ask the right questions, you know what I'm saying? So it was just seeing her knowledge in it. And we just became engulfed in it. Like it was just like, all right, this is life. Manufacturing mobile homes is life right now.
And now it's been how many years?
5 years.
5 years. Flew by already.
What's the hardest part about investing in mobile homes?
Yeah, so honestly, it's a few things. I would say hardest part is find somebody who's reliable to do the work because it's harder to find a contractor that does single family homes that's going to be willing to come and do a mobile home because for one, the value, right? Like we talk about assets that are less than $50,000 a lot of times, especially used. When you find used ones, you talk about 10. So now if you're going with these handymen, we call them like these handy guys, not reliable. These guys is they getting the money, get drunk, getting high, and then they disappear on you. You know what I'm saying? So a lot is finding reliable handyman. Sometimes even dealing with the integrity of the mobile home community, right? So like the park managers, if you're doing business inside of a park, now you have these park managers who will give you promises like, oh yeah, you can do this, you can do that, and then turn around like, no, you can't do this. No, you can't sublease in our community. No, you can't do that. Or they're not, or they're even stealing your potential leads, right? Because now what's happening is you have available homes, but they might have some available homes. So now
they're like, come see mine.
Exactly, right. And we didn't realize that until like, we was like, man, why did people not get approved? And then we'll see families like, oh, thank y'all so much. You helped us get a house. And we like,
oh, damn.
What you mean we helped you get a house? Like, oh yeah, we bought the Parks house. It was a little bit cheaper than you all's. So you're almost competing with the mobile home
with the people
community, right? So now for us, it's basically encouraging people to be like, listen, y'all, like the parks is cool. That's a good start off, but just get your own land or buy previous existing mobole homes that's affixed to land already because now this is like a single family home.
But you said get your own land. Where am I just roll up and get my own land at?
So it's cool. If you got a realtor, like long as it's zoned for manufactured homes, like especially here in Texas,
so it has to be like zoned.
Yeah.
You can't just put it anywhere.
You can't put it anywhere, right?
In Deep Ellum. Maybe.
It
depends.
Yeah,
it just depends.
Y'all's on the laws a little bit different, but like in Chicago, no, like in our Cook County, you can't just up and just put a manufactured home.
Makes sense.
In the city, right? So it depends on where it's zoned at. But I tell people look for you always want to go get it with a realtor or go on realtor.com or Zillow.com and look for, you have a tab for manufactured homes, and then look for older manufactured homes that's been kind of looks like it's been vacant for a while, because either you can just fix that up or you can just take that out of there and go put a brand new one on there and now up the value and still be able to compete with the single family homes.
So the value of the land is just like real estate. The value of the land is based on the value of the asset on the land.
Yep.
Did you know, I'm talking to Janoka, but did you know we have a mobile home park in Frisco?
No, I think you mentioned it. And
So,
I'm like, what?
Frisco, where we live, is like probably the most expensive county in Dallas and probably the most expensive houses.
In Collin
County.
Yeah.
There is a mobile home park in Frisco where we live, and it's not it's literally off the highway, and you'll drive past it, you'll see houses, but if you look past those houses, there are literally mobile home parks. So you could have a zone, I really don't know how that works, but can you have residential homes and mobile homes in the same land?
So it really it depends,
okay,
because it's possible, right? I've seen it a lot of times where, like, for example, they'll have, let's say, like a regular, let's say a regular subdivision, right? Mm-hmm. And since the zoning is, it's kind of open, they'll have manufactured homes. And what you'll see is more modular homes. Sometimes you all see homes that, like, the base is concrete, or you may see like a brick base, which those homes will never be moved again. But those homes are a manufactured home. They were manufactured in a factory and then shipped and then placed there. For good.
Versus being built from the ground up.
So you see more of those next door to a single family home.
Okay, I didn't drive through it, but when I see it, I always think about you guys. 'Cause literally across the street, there's like regular residential homes, and I'm like, how the hell do they have? Because you get the best, the best school district, you get the best everything in that area. So I always wondered about that. Like they literally got mobile homes manufactured homes in the area.
I'm gonna rewind a little bit, because you guys got your 19,000, and 16 days you got another one, and then you're so going on and so on, and now you're teaching it. Have you ever faced any failure, anything not work out, any rock bottoms at all?
Yeah. So I would say, and it's funny to say, like, I've never took a complete L. I've probably only profit like $1,000.
Okay.
So the crazy thing is, it's like, it's always been a win. I would say the craziest thing, honestly, is just as far as the ROI. Like, you talk about who's buying assets for less than, $2,000. I've got free homes that I've sold for $12,000. Like, I mean, just literally, like, it was just, my ROIs was crazy. Average ROI was like 250%. And it was because.
And that's still the same now?
No, not as much. I'll be honest. And the thing about, I'll say this. The reason why now, for the wife and I, like, we don't necessarily just flip mobile homes and anything. Like if we get it, like if a park manager calls me, I just normally I'll sell it to a friend or a family. Like, listen, give me $500, give me $1,000, so I know you got skin in the game. And so that's normally what I do, right? Like I said, our biggest thing is, like, how can we become passive investors on mobile home communities, right? That's our biggest thing now. It's just like, all right, cool, let's take these lump sums and go ahead and put it up. Because I tell people, like, when we first got when we came investors inside of mobile home parks, like, it was dope. We put up $50,000. 13 months later, we sold it. We made $137,000, right? That's, what I mean? Like, the ROI is crazy on that. Just to let us set another $50,000. So it's like, let's keep doing this. Like, we don't necessarily have to be the owner operators of this community. We could be passive and have a percentage and get paid from this.
Right. So that's more of what you're doing now, you're saying?
Yes.
More of what you're doing now. And you guys spoke about, I've heard you speak about parks. So do you own any parks, or are you still just...
Yeah, so we are owners in over 5 communities. We have 4 in...
Is the community the same thing as a park?
Yep.
Okay, I just want to...
Yeah.
I want to make sure.
5 communities. We have 4 in outside of Pittsburgh, and then we have 1 in West Virginia.
Oh,
and
nice.
they just call you, or you like doing active?
How many houses?
So
are
all in total, 292 units. And so our partner Charlie, he's the owner operator of all of these parks. And literally, I mean, if anything, he pretty much we get what's going on in our monthly newsletter and everything like that. And since we have the community that we've been able to, whenever we have vacancies, we've been able to send our community, like, hey, we got some vacancies, you guys can fill it up. So that even helps the value of our community.
Because then they can just rely on you to give them leads or give them something.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So essentially you bought an already established business.
Yes.
So because it has an owner operator, he manages it, he handles all the calls, the maintenance, whatever it takes, and you guys just investing into that.
Yes.
So are you guys the guy in Denver now? Are you guys him?
That's the goal to become right now. Yes.
Are you guys the guy in Denver?
Become the plug.
Yes, become the plug. I mean, that's really what the goal for us, to become the largest African American mobile home park owners in the country. And I think that, again,
Do you know your competitors?
As far as African American?
Yeah, other people.
Yeah,
that are
honestly,
doing it?
so far that we know is three other people, African Americans that own. And I'm pretty sure it's a few more.
But that you know of, okay.
But what I love about it, they have a top 25 mobile home parks, and to be in that, we need to own a total of 700 units. So it's there for the taking. I had a shout out my guy Andre Haynes, but I had an 82 unit mobile home community under contract and like 2 hours outside of Chicago. The deal didn't go through because of finance. We could not close on the financing. So I still got that on the table, but again, it's just like it's one of those where it's for myself. I look at it's buying, like you're talking, it's acquisition. Like I'm buying a business. I'm buying something that's already running, something already cash flowing, and the biggest thing for me is adding value by letting my community come in and invest in this community, so we all can pretty much win.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see a lot of African Americans that actually are on these in the parks, or not owners, but actually living in the parks?
Yeah, you do. I think especially down south, Georgia, depends on where the area is. You start to see more and more African Americans. The demographics it really varies. You Hispanic. You definitely is predominantly white, but it all depends on where what area it is. Mm-hmm.
Do you face any racism when you go into these parks?
No, man. It's funny. The first time I thought I was. The first time I thought I was a home that I pulled up and it was Confederate flags all over the place, and I'm just like,
here we go.
Okay, all right. And the guy opened up the door. He had a Confederate flag hat on, and I was just like, all right, let me just come and just be present. I'm not even, these are symbols. I'm not even going. And it's funny. I came in and I was like, I'm Byron. He said, oh, okay. And the funny thing, I had locks at the time. So now I look like
I need to see that picture. I don't think I've seen you with
waves. Like,
I had the locks, the little Chief Keef locks at the time, right?
Oh, those type.
Yeah,
that's Chicago locks.
Yeah. And so, I'm like, hey, I'm Byron and everything. He's like, I came to see the house. He's like, okay. And his family, I was like, hey, how y'all doing? I spoke. They just looking at me like, okay. So I'm touring the house. I'm asking them questions, and when I'm just really I'm doing what I normally do, just being myself. And that visit, like after the end, like, I made him a cash offer, and he was just like, hey man, listen, you need anything, let me know. You know what I'm saying? I think he got a chance to see, like, stereotypical. He looked at me. I wasn't what he saw on the news, again. And then for me, it was just like, okay, that's just what he got. Like, he didn't use that energy towards me. It's his belief system. It is what it is, and it was cool. But we have not. It's funny. I would say this. My group, when we do these bus tours, and my community said they saw a Karen come out at them before, like, hey, what are you all doing out here? Are you supposed to be out here? And the funny thing, we had the park manager on the bus, so she came out, and then of course I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying. So, but other than that, no, I haven't faced anything like that though.
Yeah, sometimes, like you said, that's just their symbolism. They believe what they believe, but at the end of the day, they gotta go. You gotta go, and you can help them meet.
You gotta
again.
Get paid.
Money is money. Money is green.
Money is green.
Exactly.
You mentioned you guys go out on bus tours. So what does you guys teach this stuff now? What does your community look like, and what does the education system look like?
Yeah. So man, we've been blessed to literally teach over 10,000 people mobile home investing. Again, it's been amazing. We've been on some amazing platforms, even like yourselves and things like that. And honestly, we started off with online courses, and then the community demand. They was just like, man, we kind of need more of a hands-on, right? We need hands-on. So what we did, we started a coaching program. We were able to take one of our highest students. Our one student in 6 months, she made over $180,000, and so we were able to take her. She had a great personality. It was like, we think we can, we would love for you to come on board. And then we allow her to pretty much, begin teaching our program. We started getting more hands-on. It was like, what else y'all need? People like, we want to get hands-on. We want to go to a mobile home park. So we created our bus tours, and, we'll give them experience that come out, spend 2 days with us, take them out to a community. We had homes they can buy. We had some of these students just buy homes on the spot. And we, talking to sellers, like we'll give them an experience. And, from there, it was just, we created a family. That's my biggest thing. I was telling them, like, we a family. Like, my thing is, if you invest with yourself, and long as you show up, I'm going to treat you like family, right? And it's funny because a lot of our students are like, y'all so down to earth, and, y'all sit down and break bread with us. We like,
yeah, they always think that you're not what you are. Yeah, you didn't see me on live? I was acting like this.
I ain't Hollywood.
Yeah. But you never know who you get, so I understand.
That's true. And so, yeah, it's been an amazing community. We actually, we actually just closed that community, but we're actually doing something even different now. We're now doing live training
Like a 2-3 day type training.
Nah, for the year. We're giving them a yearly, every Wednesday we come to class.
Child.
Bringing in new instructors. Like we're gonna be hands on because the thing for us is I'm moving my community more out of mobile home communities. It's a great start, but then like Kanye said, America's for sale, and there's so many opportunities. There's so many areas that are zoned for manufactured homes that, especially in this climate, more people are looking for affordability. So we're able to find these assets again, less than $50,000. You know, you haven't land with it, and now the value that you bring, you're helping families how to get affordable housing, right? You're helping your rental, you're helping your rental portfolio, or you're flipping, or you're wholesaling, whatever that is. You're helping grow your portfolio, and you have ownership, right? You're providing ownership, and then from there, even coming to the passive side of mobile home park investing. So that's the part that we want to level up our community, especially this year, and that we really focus on, and just continue to help people see manufactured homes is a form of real estate investing.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we've been talking about doing, is giving our people more of a hands-on experience. And I've seen you guys do the bus tours, and I'm like, that is super amazing because they look so excited there. And I'm so happy that you guys are sharing this information. And our listeners right now, they may be listening, they got the job, they're trying to figure out what's the next steps. And you told them, like, you didn't have a job when you guys got into this. No. You was like, we just got to figure this out.
Well, I was going to ask, who is mobile homes not for? Because it sounds good, right? It sounds great. And so who is someone that you'd hear, you'd be like, maybe not.
I think if you kind of like a jack of all trades, if you already investing in single family, and you doing stocks, and you doing like
everything.
No, yeah, exactly. Like this ain't for you, right? Because it's gonna take time. It's not something you could just do from your phone. You're gonna have to go out in the field. Like you're gonna have, and then if you don't have transportation, like this ain't for you, right? You need a form of transportation. Now, can you do virtual hosts? You can do virtual, but I like people you can get scammed that way too, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'd rather people be more like hands on. So that's why I think it's for. But it's levels to it. It's for beginners. If you already have some type of real estate experience, you could definitely jump in. And then if you want to get into commercial, I say, like, if you buy apartment buildings, like definitely look into mobile home communities, because it's like you get way more lots and homes for a lower price.
Let's talk about the no experience. I got a 9-to-5 right now. My credit is all right. I got maybe about $1,200-$1,300 saved. Like, what is the first step you would tell someone outside their job to take this? Because you guys have built an empire. This is not a side hustle. You guys have built an empire. So how do you get them started?
Yeah, so I would encourage them to wholesale starting out, right? So the first thing you want to do is you go on Facebook Marketplace, or you go on Google Maps and you start typing in mobile home parks. Then what you want to do is you want to see all the parks that you're willing to go to. First, start driving in those communities. Look for sale signs, or stop in. If they have a park office, you want them to stop in the park office. If you get a seller on the phone, the biggest thing is, like I would say, wholesale. You want to see how can you help this seller, right?
What's wholesaling?
So wholesaling is when you're pretty much the middleman. You're brokering the deal. Wholesaling is you're finding a seller who needs to sell, and then from there you're helping him. Once you get under contract, you're marketing that home to find a buyer. And whatever the difference is, you either take a percentage or a fee from that transaction. And so from there, once you find a seller who needs help, you can say, I tell people, listen, ask them, how are you selling your home? Let them list all the things, and then now you list everything. Are you selling it on eBay? Are you marketing it on realtor.com, Zillow? So now they can be like, wait, what? Like, now you can come in and say, listen, I can help you free of charge. Every seller wants to hear free. I can help you free of charge. I get paid on the back end. Get them on a purchase agreement. Let's say they say, hey, I want to sell my house for $10,000. Cool. Get that in writing. Now you go out and market that contract. Now you're going out to say, hey, you marketing, hey, I got a home for $15,000. Now you're marketing, you find potential buyers, you do the screening and everything like that. You make sure they qualify to be in the community. If they qualify, now it's just closing and bringing them home, right? You have your buyer, go get a cashier check for $15,000. You get an assignment contract with them stating that they're going to pay their $15,000. You already have your purchase agreement with your seller that's saying they're stating that they're going to receive their $10,000. Now I tell people you can go to a title company, or if you want to, just post date a check to the seller saying, here's your $10,000. That way, once that goes to deposits, that 15 deposits in your account, you got your 5, they got their 10.
Be all done.
Yep. His keys, his title. Thank you. We're done. Now you made your first $5,000.
What type of fees are in between that 10,000 and that 15,000? Because you mentioned a title company. I know they got their fees. You don't need a title company though.
No, not for wholesaling inside of a mobile home park. You don't.
Okay. So now they got their $5,000. What would be the next step to get them to that next level? Would you recommend doing that until you have a certain amount of capital?
Yep. I would say, I would always encourage do at least 4 to 5.
Okay.
Like, build up half. And then if you want to go do a fix and flip or, then definitely you can do that. But I'm telling you, just keep wholesaling, right? Keep wholesaling, wholesale to other investors who have the capital to be able to do the fix and flip. And then if you want to do it or you want to say, I want some passive income, now you can go and buy that and then create the passive income from there.
I love it.
That's a big play. A question I have for you guys. Would you guys ever live in a mobile park?
That's a good one right there.
You know what's funny? So I would say this. At one point, I think at one point we were like, man, babe, like we need to just go get us a double wide and move down in Florida and just live off the water. But
that sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie. Wifey now, she not going. She not living in a double wide.
Maybe 5 years ago, but
when y'all first started, y'all probably
it is.
It's different. You grow, things change. I ain't living that life no more though.
Right. So no, not anymore. I would do some vacation or something like that. In a nice double wide. If we had a vacation house or something like that, then yeah, but not permanently. No.
He was like, I'll sell it, I'll buy it, but I won't live in there. Right. I hear you. But I also want to ask about like your family, your parents. What are they saying? I don't know if you have siblings, all of that. How do they feel about it? Are they involved too in any shape or form or?
Yeah. So my parents, it took a while for them to like, okay, I guess I didn't really understand it
at first.
And
they never do.
Yeah. And then when they start, when the gifts start coming, you're like, oh, this really making you really making some money, huh? You really doing this, And so now, both our parents, they follow, man, her parents is very supportive. My parents too, anytime we on YouTube or anything like that, they catching lives and, things like that.
Writing in the comments and
right,
stuff.
Right, I seen they said such and such. I don't like how they did, so it's.
I'm laughing because my mother does the same exact thing. Did you see that person? I'm like, we ignored it.
Exactly.
Yes, it's okay.
And so, very supportive. I was able to retire my mom, from it. So,
that's amazing.
And, congrats on that.
Yeah, that's big.
Appreciate it. And so I think that they love it. I know I have aunties like, listen, I need a house. I need some cash flow. So it's really just trying to put them in a position. But they understand, they love it, they know the lingo. So and they friends. I love it because my mother really protects me because she has so many friends. Like, I get friends that always ask for your number. I tell them, nah, you better go by his program.
That's right, Mom, because you're gonna get a better gift.
Exactly.
Send them that way.
Now I was gonna say, speaking of program, can you tell our listeners and viewers how they can tap in with mobile home elite investors and how they can get their first mobile home? For sure.
So the first thing you want to follow us on every single platform. Everything is Mobile Home Elite Investors at Mobile Home Elite Investors. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and then even on YouTube, right? At Mobile Home Elite Investors. And you start on YouTube. I always will tell people, man, go to the free stuff first, right? And then if you like, hey, I need more, then we have a program. You go to Mobile Home Elite Institute.com. And we have, all of our programs, we have all of our training there. If you need to learn more, if you need that more hands-on experience, we got the A to Z for you.
So they start on YouTube, they want more information, they go tap into the program. What type of things can they expect from inside the program?
Yeah, so literally for us, we go step by step. So it's literally like, from, how to acquire everything from to the finish line, every single challenge. And then within the community, we have communities as well. So that way they can ask their questions, live training, they can ask their questions. And then we get the training is for more all the in-depth things. So we're going to talk about lead management. We're going to talk about how to talk to park managers, how to hire movers, how to hire handyman, like all of the different things, how to hire how to deal with racism, like all the different things we talk about within the community, but everything is step by step. So if they literally follow the blueprint, they're going to get the results that they're looking for.
Okay. And anything that I guess people don't think about when they come in, anything that comes up that you're like, people never think about this thing, but it's important to notice when it comes to the program or just doing the investing. Yeah.
So the first thing people think is, I can just go buy a mobile home and sell it. And it's like, I tell people, listen, we are in the marketing business. end of the day, you can buy as many mobile homes as you want, but if you don't know how to market it, you stuck with them, right? So it's really have to change your mind of it's selling. Like some people don't want. I realize when it comes to people have products, but then they scared to sell it.
Yep.
Like, and it's just like no, you have to like every day you have to learn how to follow up. You have to be on top of it. Like and as nothing is sold, what happens is they get promised. They'll find like I got somebody who wants to buy it. Like it ain't sold till you got the check.
You got the money. Listen, it ain't over to Fat Lady Sings.
Exactly. So keep on marketing. Like people will tell you like, oh no, take it down from me. No, like until we finalize this, that's when I'll take it down. So coming into it is you definitely it is regulations and laws you have to go over, which we provide all that information. Because you can get in a lot of trouble if you think that certain states like even Texas requires a license, right? You have to have a license to flip multiple mobile homes. So sometimes people can be like, oh, I flipped 2 of them. Then next you getting that call like,
where's our money?
Exactly.
You
right?
know that.
So you definitely want to be aware of your laws and just basically do it the right way. And a lot of people try to avoid and try to go around. It's like, nah, we're gonna make sure we give you everything to do it the right way.
Nah, man, you drop tons of game. Is there anything else that we didn't go over that you want to touch on?
Let's see. I mean, honestly, I would say this, for anybody listening or anybody watching this, like you have to continue not only watching, podcasts like this, but it's about the action, right? It's about the action because sometimes we feel good. We watch it like, oh man, I'm hyped up, and then we get
buy the course, and then
exactly right. But we don't take the action, and it's like what I love about it. Like you all are examples, especially for couples. If you're a couple watching this, or if you're like send this to your mate to watch these because to see what you're able to do. Because the last thing I'll say about mobile homes is it's a $31 billion industry. Right, it's continued to grow, and right now, especially in the climate we are in right now, it's a great opportunity because there's so much of a need for affordable housing, and so this is a part, especially as Black people, like African Americans in this country, I guarantee if you watch this, I want you to ask yourself how many mobile home investors do you personally know. And if the number is less than 5, then that means there's a lot of opportunity in that. And so, again, I would say if you can do it with your spouse, do it with your spouse, right? If you can do it with a friend, do it with a friend. But it's all about strength in numbers and do things together. That's how you grow fast.
Listen, you can't end it no better than that. We appreciate you being here, my brother.
Thank you.
We appreciate you guys listening. We appreciate you guys watching this episode. Please, please, please go follow this brother. Go follow the journey, the movement they are creating as a couple is absolutely amazing. And we listen to their stuff. We watch their stuff all the time. So y'all are killing it, man. And
all the information that he just listed will be in the show notes, and make sure that you tap in as well. Yep, that's it. That's it from us, from Janoka and Anthony over at the More Than a Side Hustle podcast.
All right, peace.